Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the Fuji X-H2. Is it still relevant in 2024? I bet it is, but let's find out. Let's get it. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm probably in LA this week or next, and then I'm going to New York after that. Can't wait to get some actual shots when it's not hot. So hot. But I wanted to talk about the X-H2. This is my second time owning this camera. Every camera that I have right now, except for the Nikon Zf, I've owned twice. You know you like it because you've owned it twice. Yeah, anyway. Gas. Gear acquisition syndrome. Alright, so let's talk about the X-H2. In 2024, is this still a relevant camera? Well, short answer, yes. But we're going to get into why. The camera industry is starting to plateau. Things like global shutter and AI autofocus are being introduced, but sensor technology is pretty much kind of plateauing. And when it's doing that, you're really not going to see a difference in image quality for the most part. You might see a difference in autofocus capabilities or subject detection capabilities, but image quality specifically, you're not going to see a big difference in the image. The sensors just aren't changing as rapidly as they did back when we went from the mirrored SLR setup to a mirrorless setup. So, short answer is yes, but let's talk about why. Specs and features. I mean, the X-H2 has a 40 megapixel backside illuminated APS-C sensor. It's not stacked like the X-H2S, but if you're not doing fast moving videos or panning shots back and forth, you're really not going to find that that's going to be a big deal for you. If you're doing stagnant video, YouTube videos like me, or maybe videos where you're using a gimbal and you're moving slowly, you're not really going to see that rolling shutter too much. Just not. If you're in a car trying to film out the window, you're definitely going to see it. That's the time you're definitely going to see it. But I don't have that issue. I really wanted the 40 megapixel sensor because it matches the 40 megapixel sensor that's on this bad boy right here, and allows me to shoot a wedding with two camera bodies, same exact sensor, just ergonomics are a little different. So it's an absolutely a fantastic sensor, fantastic image quality. It was groundbreaking when it came out, and we're only talking almost 2 years ago now at this point. It's not like it's been out forever and a day. It's only been out for about 2 years, and in the world of cameras, yeah, I would think a refresh is coming next year. I would think maybe end of next year, but not anytime, not today. Maybe even 2026, to be honest with you, because the technology is great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. They can update a lot of things through firmware these days. The autofocus is amazing as it is, so you really don't, and you can film unlimited record times, just like the Zf and just like the X-T5 here. So I don't have any cameras that can't do unlimited record times. That doesn't make sense to me. I want to record when I want to record. The other good thing about this is the autofocus capabilities, like I talked about, go down to -7 EV. So it's really, really dark in there. It's a dark environment. You're still going to be able to autofocus. You're still going to see that box go green, and your images will still be in focus. They might be slightly soft, but they'll be in focus. Fujifilm is known for their fantastic film simulations. And you don't really think about film simulations when you think about the X-H2 lineup versus, like, say, the X-T5 lineup, where you really think about those filmic type setups with this lens. It looks so funny having this 56mm on here. What the f was I saying? Man, I'm going off on tangents. Oh yeah, the fantastic film simulations that Fuji puts out for their cameras are amazing. I couldn't say enough good things about the film simulations. I do use them in my own presets, and I do have my own, on my X-T5, I do have my own film simulation recipes using those film sims as a starting point. And I've shared them in a video, and I'll link that video up here if you guys want to take a look at those. Those film simulations, in my opinion, are pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I mean, we got plagiarized some of the settings off of Fuji X Weekly and some from Reggie, but then I added my own tweaks on them to fit my style, and I like them a lot. I'd put this up against any of the other camera manufacturers, to be honest with you, and would think feature-wise, it might hold its own, if not do better. It does record stunning 4K footage up to 120 frames per second, and even 8K. This thing will do 8K. It's a beast. It's got all of the flagship specs you can expect out of a camera. Fantastic photographic capabilities of a 40 megapixel sensor. Fantastic video capabilities up to 8K video. It has tons of codecs. You can do 420, 422, f-log. You can shoot using all the film simulations as well if you're shooting in long GOP like I am. But if you shoot in f-log, of course you'll have to color grade. But I mean, it's got a fantastic joystick right here, a fantastic D-pad. The button placement is amazing. It's got a light here, a light button here to turn the light on so you can see all your settings through this great screen here, similar to what I had on the Z6 II before I sold it, and the Z8. The ergonomics, it does feel a bit chunky for me, I would say, with medium hands. My medium hands don't quite feel like I can barely touch that. Like I barely can touch that, and my pinky doesn't touch the body itself, just the grip. That's okay, because when I'm holding this camera all day with this grip, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't start to get fatigued. If I was holding this camera all day with this grip, after a while, even though it's a decent grip, way better than a ZF, don't get me started on that, it still would get fatigued after a while, especially with that 56mm on there. So the grip is amazing. It's a bit chunky for me to get to some things. Like I can't get to the joystick by holding the grip with one hand. I have to really hold it with two hands to get to the joystick. It's just a little too far away from me. But I got medium hands. If you have schmarge hands or medium to large hands, you should be fine. Fully articulating screen, which unlike the X-T5, you can close, and when you travel, keep it protected. Or like me, when I shoot, I don't like to look at the screen, so I keep the screen turned in, and I'm using this when I shoot. So is this a camera for you? Okay, well, before I get into this, is it right for you? Let me talk about some low-key things that I think about this camera that I think are amazing, and some things that I don't love about it. Low-key, I love this right here. Focus on this Nikon, or I'm gonna kick your ass. This right here. See that? 1 through 7, C1 through 7. Why don't other camera manufacturers give you that many custom settings? That's amazing. I have C1, 2, and 3 for manual aperture and shutter priority, and C4 for 4K 24p, C5 60, C6 120, and C7 240. So I have all the video ranges and all of the photo ranges that I need in those custom settings. I never switch to manual the PASM dial. In fact, you don't even need the PASM dial on this camera. I don't know why you gave it to me. I don't need it. I just need custom settings. Give me 15 custom settings and take all the rest of the things off here, if you ask me. Like filter? What is that? I don't think I've ever even switched to that. Let me switch to that. I'm not gonna use that. Why would you even put that on this camera? This is a flagship camera. You put filter on here? I'm not gonna put some stupid Instagram type filter on a flagship sensor and make it look dumb. I don't know. That's kind of a gripe of mine. I'll be honest with you. I don't love that. I'd say the other gripe is the CF Express card. I know I had a Z8 and I had a Z6 II, and they both have CF Express cards in them. But my God, man, they are annoying. They are fast, and you need a fast readout card if you're going to do video, high speed video, and you don't want tons of rolling shutter, and they are fast. So it is what it is. The Fuji X-T5 doesn't do 8K and only does 6K because it doesn't have the CF Express card. I just don't love having two different types of cards in here and having to go between the two different ones. It's just annoying. It's just annoying. So for me, like the negatives are the little bit too chunky of a body. The silly things like filter that you would put on a flagship camera. We don't need stuff like that. Give us flagship features. Give me maybe 2 function buttons here, like the Nikon Zf. Don't give me 1. I say that with a grain of salt. The ZF only has 1, but all the other Nikons do. And do we need this anymore? Do we need this anymore? If you use a flash sync port, Let me know in the comments if you use a flash sync port. Please. Just take it off. Come on. Like, all of you. The ZF doesn't have it anymore. They got with the business. Let me see. This one, yep, this one has it too. We don't need flash sync ports, guys. Take it off. To be honest with you, I think this is a almost perfect camera, at least for my needs. I wouldn't probably use it full time because I love the manual dials on top, even though I don't actually ever use the manual dials. I just like them. I like the simplicity of it, to be honest with you. The LCD is good. The viewfinder is amazing. 5.6 million dots. It's amazing. I love the viewfinder. It's probably my favorite viewfinder of any camera that I've ever owned. I would say though, if you're looking for flagship style specs, but you're an amateur beginner, you're just getting into it, you don't think you need all these custom settings, so on and so forth, the X-T5 is an excellent option. The ZF is an excellent option. As you can see, the video on this bad boy looks pretty damn good, especially with good lighting. I'm telling you, what was I missing out on? But yeah, it's a great camera. You can't go wrong. It's often on sale for $18.50. Which puts it so close to the X-T5. I wouldn't recommend even getting the X-T5 unless you're like me and you just love the manual dials. So check it out. I would say wait for it to go on sale, get it a few $100 off, get it with a new kit lens. Don't get that stupid 16-80 f4. I just don't think it's that sharp on these 40 megapixel sensors. It was much better with the X-T4 than the X-T5 and the X-H2. My opinion. I've had some bad results with the 16-80. When it comes to APS-C bodies, the X-H2 and the X-H2S are the two top cameras on the market. They're relatively small in comparison, but they're not that much smaller than a A7R4, to be honest with you. So I don't really like Sony camera bodies at all. I think I can't do this. I can't, because the lens is so big compared to the grip. I often rub my fingers right there. I don't love that. I think the ergonomics of this camera is much better, even though it's about the same size. As I'll show you up here, when I did the X106 versus the ZF video, you really couldn't see the difference. So in good conditions, you're not going to be able to see the difference between an APS-C body and a full frame. In low light and certain depth of field situations, you will. So take all that into consideration. If you're looking for an APS-C body or you're looking for a top-of-line camera that's sub $2,000, you can't go wrong with this X-H2. You couldn't go wrong with the ZF. But if you want 4K 120, you need the X-H2, not the ZF. So think about what you need. Think about what your needs are. There's several options out there. I think all of the camera manufacturers right now have great options out. Some aren't my preference, like Canon, for example, but they still make great cameras. I'm not gonna say the R6 Mark II isn't a good camera. It's just not for me. So anyway, that's it for this video. If you have any more questions, you want to know more about the X-H2, let me know. Otherwise, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Record button, and we're gonna sync this audio. That's how you do it. You clap 3 times and you can sync the audio together. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today we are going to talk about the Fujifilm X-H2. Nope. Got